I wonder, and I'll just ask this question to both of you, that focus on really getting to know your community as this diverse set of individuals with different life experiences and expectations and roles, how does that overlap with the community places and spaces where you might have spent your time when you weren't in school? Margarita, I remember from the very end of our last conversation, Ron mentioned that you had a long relationship with Boys and Girls Club. How do those kinds of places fit into this conversation?
So those fit in because I was in school, and then I go to the Boys and Girls Club. I go to the library, and those expeditions, I must say that it helped me expand like my connections, because I wouldn't be able to talk to people the same way if I didn't get the experience of going out there and just talking to random people. That is something that I believe my school started for me. I wouldn't be able to just randomly email someone who I saw in a Zoom call and be like, oh, can you help me with this opportunity? And that is something that I think my school taught me. Obviously, some people they just have it in them. But I'd say that based off different expeditions that I've had, I was able to learn skills and adapt to those, which helped me also become more successful as a student.
Ron, talk a little bit as you're looking at how EL sort of plays out across the country. What are you seeing as other variations on the roles of and the connections to these other kinds of places that are really set up for learning and development to happen? How do they fit into the mix? It's kind of the equivalent of, we're not just talking about teachers, we're talking about all adults. We're not just talking about the school as a focused place of learning, we're talking about these other institutions, libraries and youth organizations and rec centers and sports leagues and museums. How do they fit in?
In a few ways, Karen, and I love your vision, Karen, because the vision that you and your organization brings forward is that we have to be sort of a great web of support for kids in school and out of school, because we don't know which are those things that will be most instrumental in a student's life. I know for you, Margarita, school was super important, but the Boys and Girls Club was as well for you. And for some students, outside organizations become one of the most important things in their lives. A big shift for us at EL, Karen, is to stop seeing the teachers and the faculty of the school as the only experts that can help a student grow. And so we think of the teachers as the coaches, as the coordinators of student growth, but for every expedition, we bring students out to find experts in the community, and we bring experts from the community into the school. And so the teacher herself does not have to be the expert in the community or in the topic or in the subject. In fact, she often says right away, I'm not an expert I'm not an arborist, I'm not an author, I'm not a politician, I'm not a scientist. But we're going to work with an expert scientist in our community. We're going to work with a community activist. We're going to work with an organizer. We're going to go to this outside organization that does youth support and work with them to collaborate to create something. And so students start to think about their community as a place full of expertise beyond the school that they can draw on, that the school can draw on. And I'm sure Margarita, for example, could give examples of all the experts in Portland that she was able to work with as a student that were not her school.
I'd love to hear a couple of those.
Yeah, during our public policy, for example, where we were different students were trying to make change in their community through focusing on the systems, our teachers, some of the teachers didn't even know about our topics. We were able to choose our own topics. So it wasn't like, oh, go to a specific teacher, they're going to help you with this. Students knew what they wanted to work with, and they knew what they wanted to focus with. And they did that. They went for those topics, and there was experts for multiple topics that it was like teachers were learning with the students. It's not just about teachers putting themselves out there and saying what they need, because at the end of the day, we're all learning as a collective.